Good morning from the PCT. You get a walking intro this morning. Sorry if you can hear my pot rattling around in my bag. Nothing I can do about it. Won't fit in my air sack right now. A really nice night of sleep. I shared camp with a German guy named River who's been around the last couple of weeks. And right before, I was in my tent getting my pajamas on, it was getting dark. And he's like, oh my gosh, I think I just saw a mountain lion with a baby. I was like, what? So I hurried up, I get my pajama pants on, I run out there, and we were camped right by a dirt road. And he was like, I was out here by the road, and I shined my flashlight out, and I saw some eyes, and I could just see the outline. It looked like a cat with a baby. I think he said kit, but I think he meant cub. He's like, I'm not sure it was a mountain lion. It could have been a bobcat or a wolf or something. He's like, but it definitely wasn't a deer. So we kind of shined around looking for it for a minute, but of course it was gone by then, or they were gone by then. But I was like, oh, you're so lucky. That's cool. And they were going the other direction, not hanging around camp. So of course, wasn't really worried. My sleep was not affected, which is good. None of my friends showed up at camp last night. They all took a several mile long shortcut around a dirt road and camped like a mile ahead of me. Kind of for the best, honestly. After being in town, I really felt like I needed some quiet time. So it's kind of hard. They constantly want to be taking shortcuts, and they're constantly talking about skipping. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing those things. If there's a good reason to take an alternate trail, it's prettier, or it goes around a bunch of blowdowns, or a dangerous burn area or something, I'm about that. But I'm not looking to just shortcut this trail. So I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated with the group mentality, I guess. I don't know. Kind of trying to decide how to move forward with that. But anyway, heard there's trail magic today later ahead. Excited about that. It's 20 miles ahead, starting at 3:30. Hoping to make it to that. And that'll be today. All right, I'm at a trailhead. I gotta go.
Does anybody know what these are?
This is the jump off for the Hyatt Lake Campground and Resort. Apparently they have a restaurant and they serve breakfast, but I'm not going. Continuing on the PCT. So in Oregon, there are a lot of resorts that are not too far off the trail. So sometimes you can go and get a little bit of a resupply there. Sometimes they have a restaurant. Sometimes you can send a resupply box there and it won't be too far off the trail or out of your way. So that is one of them, the Hyatt Lake Resort, but not stopping there. Definitely will be stopping at a couple of them though, ones that are not too far off, but we'll see which ones those end up being. One will definitely be the Timberline Lodge, and that's farther north in Oregon. My cousin sent me a box there, and apparently they have an incredible breakfast, so that'll be something to look forward to. Much greener this morning. You can see the lake through the trees over there. It looks really nice. See if we get a better view. Apparently this water is toxic, and it definitely smells like it. It smells very strongly of sulfur. Ooh, look at these views. Rogue River National Forest. One mile to Trail Magic. I'm very excited. I hope they have veggie burgers. I know they have regular burgers, but I hope they have veggie burgers. Wish me luck. I think it's gonna be really busy. I'm suddenly seeing a lot of hikers again, more than I've seen in the last couple of weeks. I think it's because a lot of people skip Northern California. So then, you know, Southern Oregon gets a little bit clogged up. But yeah, I expect to see a lot of people at this Trail Magic. But I'm very, very excited for treats. Have not really had much Trail Magic on this trail at all. You know, a soda here, a Gatorade there. But this sort of where you actually get food and stuff, very few and far between. Much more common on the AT. So this will be a real treat. Hey, wild blueberry season is here.
Trail Magic, yeah.
Okay, the Trail Magic was amazing. That was the closest thing to like an AT Trail Magic that I've had out here on the PCT. So this neighborhood of people, they only live like a mile away from this trailhead. They come out every year, I guess, and do Trail Magic for a day. And just really, really sweet, kind people. And they had like burgers, no veggie burgers, but they did have PB&J sandwiches. And then like a bunch of fresh stuff like watermelon and peaches and someone's homegrown tomatoes. And they had like cookies and donuts and chips and cold drinks. It was super awesome, like so kind of them. Like was a huge pick-me-up, like a bunch of chairs you could sit in. Which a chair, always a treat. And I actually ran into this couple that I apparently met at the Colorado Renaissance Festival a few years ago. And I was talking to them at that time about the Appalachian Trail because they were really interested in it. They haven't gotten a chance to do it, but they remembered me and they had bought my book. And they recognized me when I showed up, which was really fun. It's just funny how that works out, like how you meet people again, like in a totally different circumstance. If you guys don't know, my friend Sharon, who I lived with for a couple years in Boulder, she is a booth owner at a few Renaissance festivals, including the Colorado Renaissance Festival. So I try to go out every summer and help her out a little bit and visit. So I guess that must be where I met them, was probably at Sharon's booth. So that's pretty darn cool. So shout out to Clark and his wife. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. But you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for being a part of the Trail Magic, and I hope you liked my book. From here, we're hiking probably 5 or 6 miles to camp. I know there's a campsite in 5.6, but there were a lot of people at that Trail Magic, so if that one's taken, apparently there are a bunch of sites after that too. So we'll see how far we get tonight.
Apparently there's an AT style shelter right here and you can camp there, but we're moving on. Look at all these giant piles of rocks. This is crazy.
So check this out. I am at a campsite that's 0.1 north of where Far Out said there were some campsites. Those last ones looked pretty crowded. There were several people there. And so I was like, I think I can do better. And I kept going, just a mere 0.1 into this lovely pine grove with room for several tents, but it's not on Far Out. So I'm the only one here. So let that be a lesson to you. You do not need to be a slave to Far Out. You can use your own eyes and look around for your own campsites.